So let me tell you my story.
We have a new name for the coronavirus. The World Health Organization has officially called it COVID-19.
A virus is more powerful in creating political, economic and social upheaval than any terrorist attack.
Crucial shortage of beds and equipment. People have been sleeping in gymnasiums and the like if they're sick. They're sort of setting up these temporary hospitals to act as isolation wards.
The situation will get worse before it gets better.
You are probably aware by now that Sweden is taking different measures than anyone else in the world to deal with the COVID-19 situation. We have been one of the only people able to move a little bit around, which has caused controversial results if you look at the death rates of Sweden. This situation has left most of us uncertain of how the early future looks like, and it has affected the way we live our lives. What things I wish I would have done in the past, and what things I wish I would do in the future. What do I want to spend my time with? Regardless of the freedom that I had, most of my friends and family were back in Spain. My head was always thinking on my loved ones, so I felt that I had to work on this in order to not lose my shit.
I can say I was very privileged when it comes to freedom in Sweden. While we were still panicking when we got close to people, we were fortunate enough to be in one of the least populated countries when we compare with the huge territory that Sweden owns.
I haven't met anyone.
So I decided to bike all the west coast. After a month of the outbreak, I thought, if I'm going to be alone, at least I can train and also take care of my mental health. This opened my mind a little bit. If there's no one outside, the possibility of me actually getting sick are smaller than if I'm socializing with family and with people who is going outside all the time. These couple of road trips gave me back all the motivation to pick up the backpack again. Suddenly I was in front of a very big and important decision. Should I stay home and wait for who knows how long until things get back to normal? Or should I just dive into the uncertainty and follow my dreams traveling in one of the most f***ed up situations that we remember in modern history?
When I came to the airport, they told me that I can't fly. So I told them, is there anywhere where I could fly? Arrange for you if you want to Paris. So Paris it is.
Oh, I got you, there's no reason to chasing pavement on my own, 'cause you're here to stay every night and day. I'm delighted 'cause I got you.
Been afraid of changes, but you shown me life is full of faces. Sometimes clouds got in our favorite places, but we were young and unaware.
Oh, I got you, there's no reason to chasing pavement on my own, 'cause you're here to stay every night and day. I'm delighted 'cause I got you. La 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 la. I'm just fine 'cause I got you. But here he comes to take me to.
last couple of months in Europe were very chaotic. Almost every city that I was going to was entering in lockdown 2-3 days after I arrived. Basically, I was running away from getting trapped in a city. There was one moment at the beginning of November that the whole Europe closed. When that happened, a new option came by. Egypt is a country that I've been wanting to travel for a long time, and for the first time I thought I might have the opportunity to see it with no tourists. So...
Do you ever think about me?
My experience in Egypt went both ways. Some of the best highlights of the travel, since I got to swim with wild dolphins, saw a dozen of temples that normally would have been extremely crowded. And the few people that I met was incredible. On the downside, since the lack of tourists was very obvious, I was a clear target to everyone on the streets when it comes to trying to sell stuff and tours. It ended up being mentally very demanding, and I would have loved to come back again to experience it with all the knowledge I already have from the previous travel.
What's the plan? Have it breathe and stay insane.
At the end, I felt a bit lonely and misunderstood, and I missed connecting in a deeper level with the culture. Nevertheless, we met many local people who were very loving and shared their stories and their friendship with us, making the experience far more positive than negative.
Everything has lost its taste. Ooh. Months are rain and chest pain. Have it breathe and stay insane. Now grab my hand. Months are rain and chest pain. Tell me what's the plan?
After 3 months in Egypt barely socializing, I thought, it's time for a change of mood. So before heading to Latin America, there was something I've been wanting to do forever. So here comes the tick to the #1 thing of my dream bucket list.
Mexico was a full blast. On and off, I spent 4 months in the country and I met incredible people and some of the most beautiful places I've ever experienced. After almost 10 years living in a non-Spanish spoken country, it felt amazing to reconnect with my language and to engage with one of the coolest cultures on earth.
In a world full of sorrow.
Can you make it better? Yes! Most of the friends I met in Egypt joined in Mexico. So I had for the first time a small travel family, which made me realize how much I actually enjoy to not do everything on my own, but to share the experience with friends in a deeper level.
On your pillow. Out of the darkness, a sound. It all seems so harmless. A silver line. Don't you wait,
Ay, Colombia, Colombia, gonorrea mía. I don't need to say much about this country. The place that I have connected the most in these 2 years endeavor, and the place which I felt most identified with. I'm in love with this culture, and because of many circumstances, I have had the chance to be surrounded by Colombian people for almost a year through traveling. Definitely my happiest memories of the travel, definitely my favorite country.
About to leave, already packing.
As the clock was ticking to make a surprise return, I decided to head back north to Panama and Costa Rica. I must say that regardless of how insane the landscape and the experiences are in this part of the world, my budget was screaming in pain with almost everything that I was doing there. Will I come back? Absolutely. I barely scratched the surface of one of the coolest and wildest places in Latin America.
Living life with the lights out, die with my own doubts. Be free with me. Be free. Be free with me. Be free. Not looking back, eyes on the freeway, Bonnie and Clyde, a classic cliche.
When I went to the US, and I connected with a culture that many outsiders shut off easily. I loved every moment in the US, and I'm happy I took the time to dive deeply into it, because it definitely motivated me to come back more often to explore a country that has so much nature than I previously anticipated.
I'm done living life with the lights out, die with my own doubts. Be free with me. Be free. Be free with me. Yeah, let's go. Be free with me.
Kids, to finish it up, I have to say that it melts my heart to rewatch my surprise return home.
Yeah, be free, be free, be free with me.
The first thing that I have to do to close the video is to thank every single freaking person that I met on the way. You definitely made my story one worth telling. I am so thankful that I had the chance to meet such a fucking amazing people on this trip. Friendships that I know that will last. I love you, I cherish you, I miss you. The situation that we have lived these couple of years, it's just been f***ed up. I believe we all had different approaches to how to deal with the pandemic. I can't say that what I did was right or wrong if another person does it. It did work for me and I am healthy here now. I hope you guys found a way to deal with the situation and you kept as safe as possible. And hopefully now that everything seems to calm down a little bit, we can rewrite our history. The next chapter of my life involves a lot of traveling, a lot of blogging. If you have seen the channels, you already know, and if you haven't, let me tell you that it usually involves a lot of fun and weird travel adventures. So I would really appreciate if you support the channel by clicking the subscribe button, liking the video, tell me in the comment how you dealt with the pandemic and what struggles you had. But I also really want to know that now that this seems to be coming to an end with the vaccine, what plans do you have now? Stay safe, love you all. Peace.
We got time on our side.
high or in a state of hope. I need you.